Leslie Miller. I'm the Communications Director here in Pennsylvania for the Barack Obama campaign. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I want to take a minute to just introduce three supporters of Barack who originally supported Hillary Clinton, and then hand the call over to David Plouffe. We have Susan Petro, Dar Thomas, and State Senator Leanna Washington. Susan, go ahead.
Hi, this is Susan Petro. I'm happy to be here today. I think that there wasn't really a singular moment that created the switch for me, but certainly one of the main moments was when Hillary discussed her experiences that she felt suited her to be chief executive, and then she also included John McCain's experience in being chief executive, and then said that Barack Obama has made one speech. And I found that to be a very difficult thing for me to understand as a way for her to promote herself. And with a lot of thought and reading a lot of things, I changed my allegiance. It wasn't simply about the negatives of her campaign, but it was also about needing to feel passionate about the person I was going to be supporting. And as much as I felt she was had a great deal of wisdom about things, I really never felt passionate about her candidacy, certainly not about her campaign. And I do feel that way about him. I feel that that he has a great deal to offer. I have a lot of confidence in him, and I think he can accomplish a great deal. And I think that is really the other side of the coin. Besides just feeling negative about her campaign, I also had to feel positive about him.
Thank you, Susan. Go ahead, Dar.
Hi, this is Dar Thomas in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I really wanted to vote for a woman this time in the election, and then I saw that I would not be able to do that. First, I did see Hillary Clinton as becoming just more and more divisive. I was watching as she would, use the cheap shots and the win at any cost style. Some people, I understand, refer to that as gaming. And I would see her and my family with me as seeing her really knowing how to play this game, but at the same time really failing to see that game is not what we want anymore. Then I started to really, on top of that, the dishonesty, the trust factor. I just found myself losing total trust and faith in her. I really have a problem with duplicity and disingenuousness and dishonesty, and I think we've seen how really destructive that is in our government. And I would watch her tell these untruths and twist the truth about herself, I guess, as she thought to her advantage, and then do the same thing against Senator Obama to his seeming disadvantage. Now, as I watched Senator Obama more and more and became to know him more through watching him and seeing information, reading his books and so on, I thought, geez, we've really forgotten in this country what a real leader looks like. And my mother used to always tell me that action speaks louder than words, and I would watch him meet this confrontation head on, and he would do it with such honesty and with dignity, and he would maintain a cool head, even sometimes trying to understand his adversaries and to why they might be saying the things they were doing and so on. And I just saw him as someone who really demonstrated a moral strength and an integrity and an ability to maintain himself under that kind of severe attack. I also see him as directly opposite of this division kind of thing of playing against each other, as being a real consensus builder. And as I got more information about him, his history of just doing that through his whole life. So he is not another one of these wounders and dividers. He's more of a healer of sorts. He brings people together and has them. And people in the Illinois legislature speak to this, people who are even across the aisle, who are other Republicans and even Clinton supporters, talk about his ability to bring people together and have them work for a common cause and work together. And I don't know, the more I've come to watch him, I just see him as our leader in the world. I see him as the leader of our country. He's somebody who has worked hard and really believes in possibility. He is living evidence of that. And I think that he's somebody who so desperately wants to restore this to us, our American dream, and to bring back our status in the world. And if I had to pick one person, out of all the people I know, I think that Barack Obama is really the best that America has to offer. And I am convinced that he's the leader we need right now. So I feel like this time we will not have a woman president. I have no other choice, and he is the best choice.
Thank you, Dar.
You're welcome.
State Senator Leanna Washington.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is State Senator Leanna Washington. I was a Hillary supporter early on because I, too, thought that, a woman being a female elected official, I always think women do it better, certainly, but the relentless negativity of the Clinton campaign gave me no other choice but to listen and pay attention to Barack Obama. And after having that opportunity to be with his wife for a day when she was here in Philadelphia, and as well as to be involved and read and listen to what's going on with the campaigns, it is clear that a person like Barack Obama is the person who's going to go to Washington, who's not going to do politics as usual, the same old thing we've been used to for the last I don't know how many years. I've been in office 14, but he's a person who has brought people together of all races, denominations, economic differences. We're all together for this one accord. And in order for our nation to move forward in a positive way, some of the things that he says, it makes it clear that he's the person to do that. He's shown it by just the average everyday person sending him, if it's $50, if it's $10, because people need a change. And I think that having Barack Obama as the President of the United States of America will certainly change the climate as it relates to everything, whether it's universal health care, whether it's no child left behind, whether it's gasoline, whatever the issue, whatever the policy that needs to be addressed, he's not afraid to address it. And as it relates to experience, this man was the head of his class in law school, the law review. This man is brilliant. How dare somebody say that he's not able to run our country? When you talk about Barack Obama, don't look at the color of his skin because you will see two colors. But look at the person that he is, that he's able to deliver. He's not on television. He's not being an actor. His experience speaks for itself. I don't know if being the president's wife give you any kind of experience, but I certainly believe that, and I know that I am supporting Barack Obama because I think he's the best person for the job. I think he's the person that can change this country from its current existence to a different one that will lead us into a better future for me, for you, for my grandchildren, your grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. And I just look forward to April 22nd when it's time to say that, yes, he has won, because really, he's already won. I think if it was anybody else, he would be the Democratic endorsed candidate at this point. And it's sad that we're playing games with politics, and we have a chance of destroying the Democratic Party.
Thank you, Senator. David?
Well, hard to add on to what these folks have said. I would just say a couple of things. We are seeing increasing signs in Pennsylvania and nationally. I mean, the poll out this week showing over half the country's voters do not believe Senator Clinton is honest or trustworthy, and I think a lot of that has to do with the conduct of her campaign. It is a relentlessly negative campaign here in Pennsylvania, running negative ads across the state, and really having largely in the campaign now failed to convince people of her own merits. Her campaign can really be defined by just an attack strategy day after day to try and destroy Senator Obama. Governor Rendell described the first 45 minutes of the debate last night as gotcha issues, and it was a long time before we got to serious issues, but Senator Clinton seemed quite comfortable in those first 45 minutes, looking for every opportunity to add on to these issues and throw jabs and distortions and parrot Republican talking points. So I think that what we're seeing is, two different campaigns. We've got big challenges in this country, and I think the voters aren't being given enough credit by the Clinton campaign. They want to really focus on issues like how to improve the economy and health care and end the war in Iraq, and the Clinton campaign seems to want to latch on to anything but those and have a relentlessly negative campaign here at the end, which is not about lifting people up or the discourse, but tearing people down. So We think that the three people on the call today spoke to some of their rationale, and we think around the country you're beginning to see a real recoil to the Clinton negativity.
Well, I agree with you. I think this is Senator Washington again. I think that, when you talk about being able to drink a shot and drink some beer with some people, how that generates votes, I don't get that. And how that deals with policy issue, I don't get that either. And, where she's a woman, she doesn't have to be challenged by what men do to be a leader. You don't have to do that.
Thank you, Senator. And with that, let's open it up for a couple questions, please.
Thank you. If you'd like to ask a question, please press the star key followed by the digit 1 on your touch-tone telephone. Also, please deactivate any mute function before signaling to be sure your signal can reach your equipment. A voice prompt on your phone line will indicate when your line is open, and we do ask that you please state your name and your news outlet before posing your question. Once again, that's star 1 to signal for a question. We'll pause for a moment to assemble our roster. We will now take our first questioner.
Hey, David, Bill Sam in Washington Examiner. I noticed that Wolfson and Singer spent a lot of time on today's conference call talking about this Bill Ayers, which we hadn't heard much about before. You brought up this negativity. Is this a legitimate area of inquiry? And if not, why not?
Well, the Clinton campaign has been agitating to try and get this in the bloodstream for some time. And, they brought it up or want to talk about it in the guise of electability. And, it's fair then to look at their exposure on this issue. President Clinton pardoned 2 members of the Weather Underground who were linked to the murders of 2 New York State police officers. These pardons were heavily criticized by Senator Schumer, Mayor Giuliani, editorial boards in that area and across the country. And so if we're talking about what the Republicans may or may not do, surely if the Clinton campaign believes that no matter how tenuous attachment to the Weather Underground, that this is going to be front and center. And obviously there's not been much of discussion in this campaign about the pardons and Senator Clinton's involvement with that. There wasn't much information on the schedule. So I think these issues, these pardons specifically and the pardons issues generally, again, if they want to talk about what the Republicans may or may not focus on, the Republicans surely are going to focus on this. And, there's a desperation in the campaign. It's again, in Pennsylvania and the other states upcoming, the economy is getting worse and worse. People are more and more unhappy about the direction of the country, yet the discourse in their campaign continues to sink to new lows. And, that's how they intend to close out the campaign. We intend to close out the campaign by trying to speak to these issues and suggest that there's a politics that can be better here that focuses on these problems. And, listen, the truth is the Clinton campaign now rests on electability as it relates to superdelegates. And, this isn't a theory in terms of how it's going to play out. We have reality every day. And if you look at the last period of time, really the last 60 days or so, our superdelegate gains have been very, very strong. Her superdelegate gains have been minimal. We picked up 2 more superdelegates today, 3 yesterday. So they're making this argument. I think there needs to be a little focus on let's evaluate how that argument is being received. It gets written about that this is what they're doing. Well, let's judge it. Let's grade it. And it's not being received well because the superdelegates are choosing Senator Obama because they believe, 1, he'd be the president best able to bring about change that will positively impact people's lives, and 2, he's the most electable candidate. Anyway, I think that their strategy of trying to suggest somehow we're not vetted and the Republicans are going to be rough with us, it's failing because the superdelegates in large numbers are siding with Senator Obama. The evidence is we would be a stronger general election candidate. And again, the notion that somehow the Clinton campaign, if they happen in the unlikely event to be the nominee of our party, would not have a rough ride about it is nuts. We have not run a scorched earth campaign here. The Republicans are going to have any number of issues that haven't been fully explored in this primary campaign to use against Senator Clinton. So, and again, that's their strategy. They're going to focus on all of these gotcha issues through next Tuesday. We're going to try and be talking about the issues that voters care about and trying to turn away from this negativity and embrace a positive change.
Let's go to our next question, please.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from...
Yeah, hi, this is Tommy Christopher from AOL News. I have two quick questions. First of all, during the debate last night, Senator Clinton made a characterization. It seemed like she was saying that it appears that Senator Obama has given his seal of approval to Louis Farrakhan. And I wanted to know if you had any reaction to that characterization. And also, on the subject of this quote where she had said, screw them about the blue-collar voters, since last night I've received like 4 or 5 different emails with, 10 or 12 different links in them to documentation of this quote. And I'm just wondering if you think maybe that you're overdoing it a little bit. Howard Wilson has said that this isn't the campaign that Barack promised. Do you think there's any validity to that?
Well, I don't think the Clinton campaign is any position to lecture anyone about conduct and tone of campaign because they are sinking to new lows each and every day. Listen, there are news reports out there from attendees at this meeting who attest to the comment that was made and the tone of the meeting. So, you'll have to continue to explore that issue. They're saying it didn't happen. Others are saying it did. I do think that this whole gambit that the Clintons have been on for the last week or so is filled with hypocrisy because, Bill Clinton and apparently now Senator Clinton have made similar comments. And as Senator Obama mentioned last night, she was heavily criticized in 1992 for her comment about she could have stayed home and baked cookies. But it was wrong for people to suggest then that somehow she was not going to be an advocate for middle-class families and voters all around the country. And it's wrong what they're doing to Senator Obama now. So, I think that they are a little bit exposed here on this issue. And I think, I think that Senator Clinton seemed awfully eager to drop references to people like Farrakhan and some of these other issues last night. And that's, that's how their campaign can be summed up. But, Senator Obama has strongly rejected the comments that Farrakhan had made, find them detestable. And he, I guess, has expressed his support, but it's not an endorsement that we sought, and certainly not utilizing. So, again, I think that, those first 45 minutes, which, not a lot of talk about issues, but Senator Clinton seemed awfully comfortable and almost eager to have that type of debate. And again, I think that as voters in Pennsylvania and then in Indiana and North Carolina focus on what's important to them, who's really going to bring about change, who's going to bring about a departure from the kind of politics that's held our country back, we think that there's a real difference right now in terms of the kind of campaign Senator Obama is running and the kind of campaign Senator Clinton is running.
Chase, another question, please.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from...
Hi, this is Lynn Sweet from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I have, David, I do have a question for you, but I have a quick clarification. Is it Miss Darth? Are you there?
Hello?
Yes. Is this Miss Darth?
My name is Dora Thomas.
Dart. Okay, I heard it wrong. Could you clarify? You said that you spent was it a day with Michelle Obama? What did you do, and how did it come about then? And was this before you switched allegiances? What could you just explain what you meant by that?
Oh, okay. I'm not the one who said that. I was with Michelle Obama. I worked her event when she was in Pittsburgh, but it was someone else on the call who spoke to spending time with her, so that isn't me.
Which one was that then? Who was that?
Senator Washington.
Okay, so just to be clear, did you spend a day with her in the midst of your support or after?
After.
After. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Now, David, how would you assess what impact the heirs issue is one way or the other, no matter how it came up?
Well, then I would say that I think that this is, again, not central to what voters are focusing on. And, I think Senator Obama spoke very powerfully to this last night. We're kind of engaged in a series of associations and trying to attach outside significance to that. So I think that, first of all, whether it's, the Clinton campaign for a while said their sole mission was to try and convince superdelegates that we were unelectable because of Reverend Wright. So maybe they're going to focus on heirs now. But again, I think folks need to focus on let's score it, let's grade it. How is their effort working? And it's not working very well because we continue to have superdelegates pledging support to Senator Obama, while Senator Clinton, I think, was in the red until very recently, since February 5th. I mean, she was hemorrhaging superdelegate support, and I think she's now maybe balanced it out. But, we've made huge gains in superdelegates since February 5th, and a lot of gains in the last few weeks, when the Clinton campaign really can be defined by an effort to try and destroy Senator Obama with a superdelegate. So to the extent that this is going to be looked at, the heirs issue, I assume it'll be looked at through the prism of electability, and is this something the Republicans will use? I think you have to look at the Clinton exposure and involvement here, which is they pardoned 2 members of this organization who were linked to the murder of 2 New York City law enforcement officials. And there's comments from family members who were distraught by this decision, comments from people like Mayor Giuliani and Senator Schumer who could not understand it. So fair is fair. So if they want to raise this as something that superdelegates, because I don't think voters who are struggling to pay their bills in Altoona or Johnstown are going to be terribly interested in this. But in terms of superdelegates, which seems to be the core to their strategy now, then I think it's important to also say that as it relates to this, the Clintons have quite a bit of exposure here. And, listen, I think that the kind of politics they've been practicing for the last few weeks, you see her negatives rising. You see the number of people who don't find her honest or trustworthy reaching alarming levels. And, I think that raises real questions about her electability, because the American people are not going to select a president that they do not trust. And, so I think that, I'm sure they'll continue agitating about it and over the closing days here, and we're going to try and focus on, key issues. And there are differences on issues and their approach to issues, but I do think that they are engaged in really really a low-grade brand of politics here that, hopefully will get rejected as we head through these next few contests.
Let's take one more question, please.
And we'll take our final question from...
Hi, this is Leanne Caldwell with Pacifica Radio. I actually have 2 questions, and they are policy-related. Last night at the debate, he said regarding Iran, I think it was, quote, take no options off the table. Is that a new position, and can you kind of go into that a little bit further? And second question is, there's a petition going around among some groups about calling for Secretary Rice's resignation based on the latest that she was involved in top-level discussions on torture. Is that something that Senator Obama would support?
Well, we will follow up with you with some of our foreign policy folks. I think that a couple things. I think that obviously the issue of torture is going to be an important issue. Has been in this primary campaign. Senator Obama has been clear about this. Senator Clinton has been a little less clear. John McCain has been a little bit erratic on this issue as well. And I think it is a core question about how we're going to conduct ourselves. And I think Senator Obama has been crystal clear about that. I think, but we will have someone follow up with you on the Iranian question.
I think that's it for now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.